Let's be honest, talent can open doors, luck can give you a head start, but discipline is what keeps those doors open when everything else fades. I've seen people with raw talent burn out because they waited for motivation. I've seen dreams crumble because someone chose comfort over commitment, but I've also seen ordinary people with no special advantage, rise to extraordinary heights because they chose discipline over excuses. Discipline is not glamorous, it doesn't always feel good. It's waking up when the world is asleep. It's saying no when every cell in your body wants to say why yes. It's doing the work even when no one is clapping. You don't need to be the smartest, you don't need to be the fastest, you just need to be the one who refuses to quit, because discipline doesn't just build habits, it builds character, and character, that's what shapes destiny. So, ask yourself, will you live life on autopilot, drifting with the tides of comfort, or will you take the wheel, steer through the storms, and command your future with unshakable discipline? Because the truth is simple. Discipline is freedom, discipline is power, discipline is the ultimate advantage. Talent fades without discipline. You can be the most gifted person in the room, the one with natural charm, quick intelligence, or incredible skills, but if you rely only on what you were born with, it won't take you very far. Talent is a spark, it shines bright, but without discipline, it burns out. Think of the countless people who had potential but never fulfilled it because they couldn't stay committed when things got hard. Discipline is the bridge between what you're capable of and what you actually achieve. Talent might get you applause for a moment, but discipline earns you respect for a lifetime. Discipline is what separates a one-time wonder from someone who keeps growing, evolving, and thriving. It's easy to show up when it's exciting, when the world is watching, when you're full of energy and motivation. But what about the days when nothing feels right, the days when you're tired, uninspired, and questioning everything? Talent won't save you on those days, only discipline will. It will whisper, get up, keep going, stay the course. And if you listen, you'll realize that success doesn't belong to the most talented, but to the most consistent. Talent is natural, discipline is a choice. It's the choice to stay committed to the bigger picture even when the immediate reward isn't visible. It's practicing when no one notices, learning when no one is teaching, improving when no one is asking. That's why discipline becomes your real power. It's not about doing something once in a while. It's about creating habits that stack up over time, habits that make you unstoppable. Talent can win you a game, but discipline wins championships. And here's the truth. Discipline is not always glamorous. It doesn't come with instant gratification. It won't give you quick results to show off, but it builds something much more valuable, character. And character is what keeps you grounded when you finally succeed. Without discipline, talent can actually become a curse because it makes you believe effort is optional. But effort is never optional. Discipline reminds you that showing up every day is the only way forward. So when you see someone succeed and you think they're just naturally gifted, look closer. Behind their talent is the grind you don't see, the sacrifices you don't know about, the choices they made when quitting would have been easier. Discipline is invisible in the moment, but undeniable in the results. It doesn't just sustain talent, it amplifies it, and that's the advantage. When you embrace discipline, you don't just rely on what you were given. You create something greater than talent. You create reliability, mastery, and an inner strength that can't be taken away. Because talent may open the door, but only discipline keeps you inside the room long enough to change the game. Because at the end of the day, talent without discipline is just potential, and potential means nothing unless you act on it every single day. Motivation is a feeling. It comes and goes like the weather. One day you wake up fired up, ready to conquer the world. The next day you feel heavy, distracted, and uninspired. That's the nature of motivation. It's emotional, it's temporary, it's unreliable. If you build your life, your work, your dreams on motivation alone, you will always find yourself stuck in cycles of excitement and disappointment. But discipline doesn't ask how you feel. Discipline shows up, rain or shine, because it's built on commitment, not moods. Motivation is great for getting started. It's like the spark that ignites the engine. But if you want to keep moving, you need something stronger. You need the quiet power of discipline. Discipline is the promise you make to yourself that no matter how you feel, you will take the next step. It's the reminder that your goals don't care about your mood. They only respond to your actions. And the truth is, the results you want won't wait for your emotions to align. They'll only come when you decide to keep showing up, even when it's uncomfortable. Think about it. Anyone can work hard on the days they feel inspired. Anyone can put in the effort when things are easy and exciting. But the real test is what you do when it's boring, when it's tough, when no one is cheering you on. Discipline is what carries you through those silent seasons, the ones where the work feels endless and the progress feels invisible. It's in those moments that discipline quietly outshines motivation. And here's something people don't always admit: motivation is seductive. It makes you believe you need to feel ready before you act. It makes you think, I'll do it when I'm in the right headspace. But that mindset is a trap. Waiting for motivation is like waiting for perfect weather before you step outside. You'll waste your whole life standing still. Discipline breaks that cycle. It says, start now, keep going, don't wait to feel ready. And the beautiful thing is, once you act with discipline, the motivation often follows. Action creates momentum, and momentum creates motivation, not the other way around. Discipline also builds trust with yourself. Every time you show up despite not wanting to, you're proving to yourself that you are reliable, that you can count on you. That trust is priceless. It's what turns your goals from distant dreams into achievable realities. And once you realize you're capable of doing the hard things even when you don't feel like it, you become unstoppable. Because now, your progress is no longer controlled by fleeting emotions. The difference between someone who achieves their dreams and someone who doesn't isn't motivation. It's consistency, and consistency only comes from discipline. Motivation can light the fire, but only discipline keeps it burning. Motivation asks, do you feel like it? Discipline answers, it doesn't matter, do it anyway. Because in the end, motivation is a moment, but discipline is a lifestyle, and that lifestyle is what transforms your life. It's easy to chase comfort. It's human nature to seek what feels good in the moments, leaping in a little longer, skipping the workout, postponing the hard conversation, putting off the work until tomorrow. Comfort is seductive because it gives you an instant sense of relief. But here's the secret no one wants to face. Comfort is the silent thief of progress. It whispers you deserve a break, but it never tells you what that break will cost you in the long run. Discipline, on the other hand, isn't about what feels good now. It's about what will feel good later. It's the choice to embrace discomfort today so you can enjoy freedom tomorrow. Consistency over comfort. That's where the real transformation begins. It's not about making one big, dramatic effort. It's about showing up again and again, even in small ways. A single workout won't change your body, but a habit of moving daily will. Writing one page won't make you an author, but writing a page every day will give you a book. Consistency is powerful because it compounds. Like drops of water carving through stone, small, disciplined actions done repeatedly will reshape your entire life. Comfort never offers that. Comfort keeps you exactly where you are. People often think success is about grand gestures, huge sacrifices, massive changes, overnight wins. But the truth is, success is built in the quiet moments where no one is watching. It's built when you decide to stick to your commitments even when you're tired, even when it's inconvenient, even when no immediate reward is visible. And that's the difference between someone who grows and someone who stays stagnant. The disciplined person chooses long-term gain over short-term pleasure. They say no to comfort because they know comfort doesn't give you the life you dream of. It only gives you the life you settle for. Consistency also creates a rhythm. When you repeatedly do the hard things, they stop feeling so hard. They become part of who you are. What once felt like a sacrifice becomes your new normal. That's why consistency is more powerful than intensity. Anyone can push themselves hard for a short burst, but can you keep showing up when it's boring? Can you keep going when progress is slow? Can you choose the harder path every day, not just when you feel like it? That's where consistency builds unshakable strength. And here's the beauty: consistency builds confidence. Every time you honor your discipline, you're proving to yourself that you can rely on you. That builds trust, and that trust builds momentum. And momentum, it's unstoppable. The more consistent you are, the less you rely on willpower, because the behavior becomes automatic. Comfort loses its grip on you because you've created a higher standard for yourself. So yes, comfort is tempting. It gives you ease right now, but ease right now often leads to regret later. Discipline feels uncomfortable in the moment, but it leads to a future you're proud of. Consistency is the bridge between who you are today and who you want to become. And that bridge isn't built in one giant leap, it's built step by step, day by day, choice by choice. Because at the end of the day, comfort might feel good now, but consistency feels better forever. Life isn't always kind. It throws challenges when you least expect them. It tests your patience, your strength, and your belief in yourself. There will be days when nothing goes according to plan, when every step forward feels like pushing through quicksand. In those moments, talent won't save you, motivation won't save you, even luck won't save you. What will carry you through is resilience, and resilience is born from discipline. Discipline is like a muscle. Every time you choose to do the hard thing, you're strengthening it. And just like any muscle, the more you train it, the stronger it gets. When you build discipline, you're not just building habits. You're building the mental toughness to keep moving even when life gets heavy. It's the practice of showing up on difficult days that prepares you for the storms. Because let's face it, life isn't a straight path. It's a series of ups and downs, twists and turns. Without resilience, those twists will break you. But with discipline, you bend. You don't break. Think of the most resilient people you know. They're not the ones who never faced adversity. They're the ones who refused to quit when adversity showed up. And what gave them that ability? Discipline. The discipline to keep a routine when chaos surrounded them. The discipline to stay focused on the bigger picture when distractions and doubts tried to pull them off track. Resilience isn't built in comfort. It's built in the moments when you don't want to keep going, but you do anyway. Discipline also teaches you patience. It reminds you that you can't always control the timing of results, but you can always control your effort. It's about planting seeds even when you can't see the harvest yet. It's about doing what's necessary today so that your future self can thrive. And when you live with that kind of discipline, you build an inner calm, a quiet strength that says, no matter what happens, I will handle it. That calm is resilience, and here's something powerful. Discipline removes the panic when challenges arise. When you've consistently prepared, trained, and shown up, you trust yourself. You know you can adapt, endure, and overcome because you've already proven it in the small daily struggles. Resilience is not built in a single heroic moment. It's built in thousands of disciplined moments where you didn't give up. So when life gets hard, and it will, discipline becomes your anchor. It keeps you steady when the waves get rough. It keeps you moving when everything around you screams to stop. That's why disciplined people survive storms that break others. They're not stronger by chance. They're stronger by choice. They've conditioned themselves to keep going, no matter how hard it gets. And the truth is, resilience isn't about avoiding pain or struggle. It's about knowing you can endure it and still move forward. Discipline is what teaches you that. It's what proves to you, over and over again, that you're capable of more than you think. Because in the end, resilience isn't something you're born with, it's something discipline builds, one hard day at a time. You don't have to be extraordinary to achieve something extraordinary. That's the beauty of discipline. It doesn't require special gifts, rare opportunities, or perfect timing. It simply asks you to commit, to show up, to do the work over and over again. We often look at successful people and think they're different from us, that they were born with something we don't have. But if you strip away the myths, you'll see the truth. They're not superheroes. They're just people who decided to be consistent when everyone else gave up. Ordinary people become extraordinary not because they are the smartest or the most talented, but because they're willing to do what most won't. They're willing to repeat the boring, unglamorous work. They're willing to sacrifice comfort for growth. They're willing to take one small step, then another and another, even when no one is watching. And over time, those small, disciplined steps create massive change. Discipline doesn't ask for perfection. It asks for persistence. You don't need to get it right every single day. You just need to keep coming back. Even if you fail, you return. Even if you feel slow, you keep moving. Even if you're tired, you take the next step, and what happens is subtle but powerful. You build momentum. That momentum transforms you from the inside out. It shifts your identity. You start to see yourself not as someone who tries, but as someone who follows through. That shift is what turns ordinary into unstoppable. And here's the secret no one talks about. Most people quit. Most people choose easy. Most people stop when it gets uncomfortable. That's why discipline is such an advantage, because when you simply don't quit, you're already ahead of the majority. You don't need to outthink or out-talent everyone. You just need to outlast them. The willingness to keep going is more powerful than any natural ability. Think of a drop of water falling on stone. One drop doesn't change anything, but thousands of drops over time can carve through solid rock. That's what discipline does. It takes your small, repeated efforts and turns them into something extraordinary. You might feel average now, but with discipline, you won't stay that way, because discipline compounds, it multiplies. It takes who you are today and molds you into who you're meant to become. And when people finally see your success, they'll call you gifted, lucky, special. But you'll know the truth. It wasn't about being extraordinary. It was about being committed. It was about refusing to settle. It was about showing up long after the excitement wore off. That's how ordinary people become legends. So don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait to feel exceptional. Start where you are with what you have and commit to the process. Over time, the discipline will do the work of transformation. Because the truth is, you don't need to be extraordinary to start, but discipline will make you extraordinary in the end. ChatGPT said, discipline equals freedom. It may sound like a contradiction at first. How can rules, routines, and structure lead to freedom? But look closer. Discipline isn't about limiting your life. It's about creating control over it. When you live without discipline, you live in chaos. You're ruled by impulses, distractions, and fleeting emotion. You react instead of act. You spend your time putting out fires instead of building something meaningful. That kind of life might feel free in the moment, but it traps you in the long run. Real freedom isn't doing whatever you want whenever you want. It's having the power to create the life you truly desire, and that power only comes from discipline. When you're disciplined with your time, you create space for what really matters. When you're disciplined with your habits, you build health, energy, and focus that give you the ability to do more, to experience more. Discipline gives you financial freedom because you save and invest instead of wasting. It gives you emotional freedom because you train your mind to stay steady instead of being pulled by every distraction. Discipline removes the guilt, the regret, the constant feeling of I should have done better, because you know you've honored your commitments to yourself. And there's nothing more freeing than that. Discipline also frees you from fear. When you consistently do the hard things, you stop being scared of them. You stop dreading the workout, the presentation, the tough conversation, because you've trained yourself to face discomfort instead of run from it. You build trust with yourself that no matter what comes, you can handle it. That self-trust is one of the purest forms of freedom. Freedom from doubt, from hesitation, from weakness. And here's the part most people miss. Discipline actually creates more time and energy. When you're undisciplined, you waste hours procrastinating, cleaning up avoidable mistakes, or overthinking simple decisions. But when you're disciplined, you simplify your life. You focus on what matters. You stop carrying the mental load of unfinished tasks. That clarity and order give you time back, time you can spend however you choose. Discipline creates freedom by making your life lighter, sharper, more intentional. So yes, discipline requires effort. It asks you to say no when others say yes. It demands consistency when others choose comfort. but in exchange it gives you the one thing everyone is chasing: freedom. Freedom to live on your terms, not on the terms of your distractions, habits, or fears. Freedom to create a future that isn't accidental but intentional. And when you understand this, discipline stops feeling like a burden. It becomes a gift, because the daily choices that feel restrictive now are the very choices that unlock a bigger, bolder life later. That's why the most disciplined people often live the freest lives. They've built their freedom with small, deliberate steps every single day. Because in the end, discipline isn't the enemy of freedom. It's the path to it. So what does all of this really mean? It means that talent alone is not enough. It will open the door, yes, but it cannot keep you there. Motivation will light the fire, but it cannot keep it burning. Comfort will tempt you, but it will never take you anywhere new. Life will throw challenges your way, but only resilience will help you rise again. And you don't need to be extraordinary to build an extraordinary life. You just need to choose discipline, because discipline is the one thread that weaves through all of these truths. It's the quiet, steady force that turns potential into power, chaos into clarity, and dreams into reality. Discipline is the great equalizer. It doesn't matter where you start, how much talent you have, or what your circumstances look like. Discipline doesn't ask if you're the smartest, the fastest, or the most gifted. It only asks, will you keep showing up? And when you answer yes day after day, choice after choice, you create momentum that no one can take away from you. That's how ordinary people carve out extraordinary destinies. Not through luck, not through privilege, but through the relentless decision to keep going when others stop. And as you build discipline, you build something even greater: freedom. Freedom from the regret of wasted time. Freedom from the weight of unfulfilled potential. Freedom from the fears and doubts that keep so many people trapped in the same place for years. Discipline may feel hard in the moment, but it gives you control over your life. It gives you the ability to decide your future instead of letting it be decided for you. That's the ultimate advantage. When you live with discipline, you live with purpose, and purpose is the deepest kind of freedom you can ever experience. So the choice is yours. You can wait for motivation to strike, hoping for the perfect moment, or you can start now, even if it's messy, even if it's small. You can chase comfort and settle for the life you already know, or you can embrace the discomfort that will lead you to a life you've never imagined. You can let challenges break you, or you can let them shape you. And you can spend your whole life wishing you were extraordinary, or you can commit to the daily discipline that will make you extraordinary. Because in the end, success doesn't belong to the talented, the lucky, or the privileged. It belongs to the disciplined. It belongs to those who do the work even when no one is watching. It belongs to those who refuse to quit, who choose consistency over comfort, who build resilience in the face of adversity, and who understand that discipline is not a cage, it's the key to everything. So take that key, use it, unlock the life you were meant to live. Thank you for giving me your time, your focus, and your open heart today. I hope these words reminded you of the power that already lives within you, the power to choose discipline, to create resilience, and to shape your own destiny. Remember, every small choice you make today builds the future you'll live tomorrow. So, as you leave this moment and step back into your life, carry this truth with you. You are capable of more than you think, and the path to that greater version of yourself begins with a single, disciplined step. Thank you for being here, for listening, and for daring to dream of something bigger. Until we meet again, stay consistent, stay resilient, and never forget, the discipline advantage is already yours to claim. Goodbye, and keep moving forward.